What's that 20 email first?
Market, please.
March, excuse me.
Could you be from 954 Ultra add it later? Plug that logo on Autobot leverage.
Prelude, a message to those who possess the manual. You don't want this information shared with just anyone. This protocol is heavily priced not only to ensure you take it seriously, but also to reserve this valuable knowledge for a select few who can gain a significant advantage over others. To reveal the most optimal and strategic method to backstab someone and rob them of all their power, you would gain an edge over your rivals if they were to ever cross you. However, if you shared this information with them, you would render this information utterly useless, as they would be on the same level as you. For this information to remain powerful, it must also remain secretive. This will kill the author's finances telling you this, but this manual only takes into the consideration of the reader, not the author. Knowledge is absolutely powerful and will continue to be so only if you keep it to yourself. Use this knowledge strategically to maximize its value. Great information is priceless. It will change your life forever, and that shouldn't be given out for free. Only the best of the best can afford it because they prioritize it. They are the ones most likely to apply this information and appreciate what they were given. A warning to those who are seeking the truth. Reading the following protocols will grant you enhanced levels of wisdom, accessible only to advanced critical thinkers to integrate it into their own lives. You will uncover the veneers that cover the truth, fulfilling the true definition of discovery. When the truth has fully seeped into your consciousness, you will transform into a new individual, more capable, sharp, and cold-blooded. This is not meant for the faint of heart, as it disregards all realms of morality, recognizing its non-existence in nature. Understanding what the protocol reveals will isolate you from the rest of the world that remains ignorant. You will feel alone knowing what you know, and sharing this truth with anyone will further alienate you from friends and family. If you're not prepared to become psychologically isolated, this is where you should stop reading. Otherwise, extracting this information will be absolutely draining. The energy required to comprehend such deep internal secrets will exhaust you. Take your time to digest this knowledge as you would eating your meal. A message to audio listeners. To those listening to the audiobook of this manual, I highly recommend also reading along with the physical copy for deeper comprehension. I advise keeping the audio at a neutral speed as it was carefully designed. It is important to hear every intentional pause and every accurate pitch to convey the message that the author meticulously crafted. We must be on the same wavelength, meaning that speeding up the audio will disrupt the carefully planned rhythm and flow of the information. The pacing of the audio is designed to help you absorb the information deeply before moving on. The audio cannot be rushed, or you risk developing a shallow understanding. Like someone who cheats on an exam, they might finish faster, but they won't truly understand the material. A message to book readers. It is vital for you to hear my voice as you read this. Reading it alone is nowhere near as compelling as experiencing the emotion conveyed in the audiobook. This text is written in a specific strategic manner that you may not fully grasp emotionally when reading it to yourself. By listening to me, you will understand the message on a deeper level. Without my voice, you will only capture a fraction of the message's essence because you cannot feel exactly what the writer feels. Synchronizing your emotions with the writer's means aligning yourself psychologically with the writer. One must preface this notion in preparation of reaching new levels of enlightenment. You will not retain this information in one listen, let alone tenfold. Just like human adaptation, it will take months, even years for you to fully adapt into becoming a true conscious being. You must hear this voice beyond repeat. You must not resist. Soak it all in, let it absorb into the skin, plant the seeds within, and your mind will blossom. Do not let this moment pass. A message to manipulators, sociopaths, and narcissists. You have found the right channel of information to enhance your inherent nature. You may already have an upper hand on the playing field, but there's more to learn to fully exploit your and others' tendencies. You will be able to continue being the cold-blooded individual that you are without getting caught by your victims, or you can decide that playing this role is not really worth the risk that it could carry. The only people who will know are those just as sharp and cold-blooded as you. If they are as smart as you, they will either respect your abilities or form a team with you to take what you want from the world. Either way, you will be more cunning at your disposal, and my God, does it feel powerful. A message to pirates. If you manage to get your hands on this information for free, fuck you. You spineless thief. You are only hurting yourself more than you are hurting me, and you won't even realize it. Those who get it for free will not care for it as much as someone who worked for it. Thieves who steal are the least likely to apply such advantageous information, nor appreciate it as much because they didn't put any work into getting it, nor did they sacrifice a part of themselves to get it. That is an immediate losing point for them if they stay that way, repeating their actions. They will never learn anything. Those who steal have a pattern of never giving anything away. They do this because they never had anything to give away. That is the sole purpose of a thief. They are so desperate to take it since they don't have any much of it themselves. It's ironic that thieves are the most desperate to want it, yet so foolish to apply it. You will truly understand this once you absorb the contents of the protocol. Just know that because of who you are, there is a missing characteristic that will prohibit you from progressing. You will not get a maximum return on investment with the mindset of a taker because you lack the understanding of giving. There are massive advantages to being a giver, and you will fail to understand that if you only take. Anyone who has consciously given this information to you for free is also accountable for how much power they selflessly sacrificed now that it is in your unappreciative hands. Those selfless givers have also, without even realizing it, lost so much power. Not aware enough. Protocol 1. Dead slaves walking. Never will they receive the light and travel the stars, the powers that be. The introduction. You are here on this planet for a reason, and it wasn't to die. Although death is the privilege you get from living, the majority will die never knowing what they were truly capable of from within when they were alive. It's creepy, but very esoteric. Only a certain clique of individuals will be able to read between the lines. Starting from birth, our brains would go on to develop millions of neural connections that allows us to walk, talk, listen, cry, and so on. This is as practical as it goes for child development. The underlying question is to figure out, when does a human adolescent gain consciousness, and in what aspect? Our consciousness starts to develop ever so slightly. We slowly go on to comprehend death's existence. Perhaps that chicken nugget used to come from a living being. Maybe Santa was not the one putting the presents under the tree. Plenty of realities hit us as kids that are now common sense to us as adults. Yet the people around us still remain oblivious to certain realities and are very neglectful of their internal selves. They're blinded by their feelings, biases, and limited beliefs, sprinkled with the distractions of entertainment and deception of information that surrounds them. The poison in this world has made you so sick, and you don't even realize what's killing you to begin with. You're so conditioned to live in dysfunction, you believe that dysfunction is normal, but that doesn't mean it should be a life worth living. Every one of us has been plagued by the temptations that surround us. We give into it, and it makes us weaker, fatter, greedier, addicted, lustful, and deprived more than ever before. There's defective people out there who are stuck living in dysfunction with you. These are known as slaves. These slaves don't know any better. They tend to malfunction after coming across another perspective that challenges their own beliefs and refuse to use critical thinking and self-reflection. Even worse, they don't even listen to their senses. You would like to think you're not a slave, but instead you're the main character who confronts the slaves on a daily basis. Here's a line of questioning that answers whether or not you're a slave. Do you believe in morality? Do you eat seeds? Are you addicted to drugs or substances? Do you rely on scientific studies? Do you burn your food? Have you fell in love behind a digital screen? If you said yes to any of these, then you are a slave. That's only to mention a fraction of what makes a slave. It makes no sense from an outside perspective, but they just don't know what the manual knows. It's a journey for you to explore against the consensus, specifically against the hive mind. It's a brutal psychological battle to go against what you've been taught your whole life on how to live, rather than to follow your senses. You thought these people outside of you cared for your well-being, but all they did was repeat what they were taught, continuing the never-ending brainwashing cycle of abuse. It's a mixed cocktail of slave masters that manipulate you to be a slave, and slaves repeating what they were told that kept them as slaves. It's as if all knowledge was passed down, and it was not the knowledge that you were supposed to be given. These past knowledges led you to who you are today, a brainwashed slave. Breaking the chains comes with failures, suffering, struggles, blood, sweat, and tears, not because you want to, but because you have no other choice. To begin all of this, you have to first become more aware of yourself than ever before. Even if people who are at the top 1% of financial wealth could even be slaves, it's not the financial wealth that breaks you out of slavery, it's your consciousness. You are being controlled by the top 1% of conscious beings. These are the slave masters. It's difficult to identify a free thinker when everyone else around you is also a slave. There is no free man to distinguish them. You'd think that wouldn't be difficult anymore now that we have the advent of technology. But the influencers you see on screen are also slaves. The masses see the slaves who are winning online, and they block any grasp of comprehension that they are trapped in their walled-off misery. Slaves will do anything to excuse their inadequacies by blaming it on everything outside of themselves, like the patriarchy, capitalism, the government, and never blame themselves internally for falling for it. These slaves are dead. The way they think is a stagnant lifeline. Their ways of attacking you are meaningless because they can't think nor comprehend past the surface level. They are dead slaves walking, robbed of their dreams and aspirations, destroyed by their own arrogance and ego. Every street you walk on is a graveyard. The people who are not able to see what's truly in front of them shows a cognitive dissonance. Even if these dead slaves do see the truth, they will maintain the same routine because they would rather live comfortable as a slave. People live in patterns and never recognize it. The brainwashing is so strong that when confronted with the evidence that indulging in certain practices will turn them into a corpse, they will simply overlook the situation. The majority of them will never come to the conclusion because they are in denial. Many of these people died before they met their grave. We all operate under the system that's bigger than the patriarchy, bigger than capitalism, and bigger than the government. The system we all unanimously fall under is for the people like the slave masters who are truly alive, and not for the slaves who are already dead. The word for this system is not even in the dictionary. That's how esoteric it gets. You can no longer afford to be blissfully ignorant. That ship has sailed now that technology is here to stay with us. Everybody around you has access to information. People are gaining information rapidly from smartphones, and they can use that information against you. This information can also be used against them to be brainwashed. There was a time and place before technology existed, especially social media, where everyone was ignorant and could enjoy their life as that. Nobody knew the true natures of human capabilities, and therefore nobody would be able to use that against each other. Now your ignorance can get taken advantage of from enlightened people because the power information has gone higher, and you're missing out on that. That's why the manual is the key to ascending past the main consensus that have been kept shut on you this whole time. For those that follow protocol leached through social media were drip-fed a fraction of what the true consciousness could be. That was phase 1. You are now following protocol unleashed. It is now out in the public for you to reap, and that is just phase 2 out of 4. This manual has nothing to do with conspiracy theories, the universe, or spirituality. It's all based in the real world. It's an awareness tool to master everything internal that you can control. We all genuinely think that we have control over ourselves, but never understood the art forms of mind control that makes us go against our senses. Being able to identify the details piece by piece is achieving self-control to greater lengths. It has nothing to do with discipline. It is much greater than that. That's just the surface level information that you've been fed, which is more typical brainwashing. There are parts of your brain that lacks control, and that leaves intruders to take control of it for you, and that's not in your best interest. This tool will position yourself to be either at the top of the food chain in this bloodthirsty society, or to remove yourself from the food chain entirely. It's your choice. This can get you to yield maximum power from simply unlocking new areas in your head. This includes being at the top of your health, relationships, and autonomy. The elites. There are people who are much greater than you, who are unreachable, who are unfathomable to the average human perception of reality. They are better than you, not only because they own everything, but they truly understand the human anatomy more than all of the health professionals put together. With that knowledge, they know the answers to immortality and mind control. Their understanding of psychology and physiology is unpredictable. They plan to use that information to keep you weak and nimble. People were able to capture a fraction of the elite's information, and it's heavily suppressed when discussed in public by the elites and mind control slaves. When you discuss a topic that the elites want suppressed, they have programmed the slaves in many ways to suppress each other for them. There is a scripture passed around in the internet about a certain group of people that talk about their plans to dominate society, which they have already succeeded in. The following writing will be rewritten to prevent any traces of the main source from coming and destroying the manual. You are not obligated to trust the source of the plan, but take into account of what you see today. Compare what is about to be said to reality and notice the pattern of what the elites have already succeeded in manipulating us with. They will cast an illusion so large and vast it will escape your perception. The masses live in a reality separate to the elites. They are taught in a false worldview where they truly don't know what they eat and where they live. The select few who sees it will be seen as crazy and insane because the masses cannot see the spell that they broke. Even worse, they were programmed to punish the people that broke the spell. The elites will create separate fronts to prevent the masses from seeing the connection between each other. These fronts will behave as if they are not connected to keep the illusion alive. The goal will be accomplished one drop at a time to never bring suspicion of their plan. The shift is discreet. It will prevent the masses from seeing the changes occur over time. They will always remain superior relative to the masses because they know the secrets of the absolute. They will keep your lifespan short, merely a fraction of the elite's lifespan. and keeping your mind weak. They will use their true knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so the masses will never see what is happening. They will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in the food, water, and oxygen supply. It will all be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. When they beg for solutions, they will be met with promises only to feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. It will destroy their psychological and reproductive systems. The elites turned every foods hyperpalatable through drugs and chemicals. They will make the foods deprived of bioavailable nutrients so the body still craves for something satiating. But the minds won't know the difference between a natural craving for nutrients and addiction to drugs and chemicals. These foods are so worthy of addiction that even when the masses understand that the food is poisoned and laced, they will still continue to eat it. They will turn inedible seeds, vegetation, and rocks into foods right before their very eyes, and they will not question its existence. This method of depopulation is highly effective for the elites because it distracts them, dumbs them, and slows them on their way to their sooner death. From all of this, your children will be born sick and ever so likely malnourished, and you will watch helplessly. The elites will conceal this information. They hit you the hardest at birth. Your father's testicles is polluted with chemicals, and your mother's placenta is nutrient deficient and poisoned. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds you in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. Delivering the poison must be deliberately invisible or under the disguise of fun images and musical tones so the masses will catch it late. They don't want you to be healthy or dead. A cured patient is a lost customer, and a dead patient is a lost customer. But a sick patient is what will keep the cog spinning. If they can control the food supply, then they can control you when you're hungry. Those that the masses look up to will guide them towards more poison that the elites enlisted them to influence. They will see the poison being used in film and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. During pregnancy, mothers will unknowingly consume poisons planted by the elites to weaken the fetus. After birth, the elites will inject more poisons in different forms into the blood of their children and convince them it's for their help. While the child's mind is still malleable, the elites will target them with what they love the most: sweets. Allowing children's teeth to decay allows the elites to fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn is stunted from the accumulated poisons, the elites will introduce medicine that will make them sicker and amplify other symptoms of which they will create more medicine to pollute the children with. The elite's superior power will render the children docile and weak. They will become depressed, fatigued, and obese, and when they beg for more help, the elites will give them more poison. They will distract the masses with money and material goods so they can never understand their internal self. Distractions such as fornication, external pleasures, and games will disable their awareness of their own singularity. Money is an illusion that will keep the masses imprisoned forever in debt. Their minds will belong to the elites, and they will do what the elites want them to do just as long as they keep following the money. Any stance of rebellion will leave them susceptible to mind-altering technology into their lives. The elites will use fear as their weapon. Governments will be established to control the masses at a large-scale operation. They will enact laws to stop you from living, and the masses will warp their morality around these laws to justify their slavery. Law is an illusion that will steal the little freedom the masses have. If they can suspend your autonomy because of emergencies, then they will keep manufacturing emergencies. To make the masses think they are in control of who governs them, there will be opposing sides fighting for power on an annual basis. The elites will own both sides. The objective is very well hidden, but it's still able to be carried out. The masses will perform the labor and the elites will prosper from their toil. The elites will guide the masses kindly and gently, letting them think that they are guiding themselves. Everything that the masses do is all subconsciously under the control of the elites. The plan is designed to foment animosity between the masses through factions controlled by the elites. The elites will make the masses kill each other when it suits them. They control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how by controlling all of their fronts the masses rely on. Dogma and religion will keep them separated. They can make the masses rip each other's hearts apart and kill their own children. Hate and anger is the best tool to divide the masses. The hate will blind them, and they will never see that their conflicts were puppeteered by the elites. The masses are too occupied killing each other, bathing in their own blood. The elites will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see them, for they cannot see them. The plan will continue to extort from the wars and deaths of the masses. They will prosper from all of it, drop by drop. Any light or glimmer of truth that shines on you will be extinguished by ridicule or death. This will continue forever until their goal is accomplished. Forever will the masses live in fear through images and sound. Every tool that they have executes it very well. The very same tools came from the labor of the masses. The elites designed society exactly to how they wanted it to, and the masses built it against their will. The elite's family will never mix with any one of us, the masses. To them, we are inferior cattle. Their blood will always remain pure, clean, and vibrant, for it is the way. The unfathomable truth bears that they are all truly one. No average cattle will understand this notion, for they believe pure blood is inbreeding. It's a fear-mongering terminology that's also planted by the elites. Rather, the masses will crossbreed through selective propaganda and brainwashing until they are all no longer pure, but rather a mixed concoction of everyone in the world. There will be no white and there will be no black. This will help the elites distinguish the pure from the homogenized. The elites will and already have taken the masses' land, resources, and wealth to exercise total control over them. If they were to ever band together, the elites will accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for they also control the media. They will control the flow of information and the masses' sentiment through the medium of media when it benefits them. Any attempt to rise up against the elites will be crushed like insects because of how small they truly are. The masses don't have the weaponry to defend themselves, nor the capacity to understand how to withstand against the elites. The elites will recruit portions of the masses to carry out the plan for them known as initiates. These initiates will be deceptively promised sanctuary to eternal life. They will never have eternal life, for they are nowhere near comparable to the elites. Initiates will be brainwashed to believe false rites of passage to higher realms. Members of these groups will think they are one with the elites, never knowing the truth. If they did know the truth, they would turn against the elites just like that. They will be rewarded man-made titles and trinkets, but they will never join the elites and become immortal. Never will they receive the light and travel the stars. The higher realms are untouchable. Killing their own kind will prevent their elevation towards enlightenment. This they will never know. The masses will look straight at the truth, hidden in plain sight, so close they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. The illusion of freedom is so grand they will never know they are slaves. The reality that the elites created for them is their prison, living in self-delusion. There is nothing fake about this world, but it is controlled from external sources. The elites are ahead of us. They prepare centuries in advance while we fall behind. When the goal is accomplished, a new era of domination begins. The orchestrated belief puppeteered by the elites is bounded immemorially by the masses. If they manage to snap out of the beliefs and were to find out they were equal to the elites, they will remove their existence entirely. The masses cannot and will not ever know this. Only a few cockroaches will slip through the cracks and make it out of their spiritual imprisonment. If enough of the masses were to band together, they can stand a chance against the elites. The odds of that to happen are slim to none. All it really takes is seemingly useful information that will mislead the masses into turmoil and powerlessness. If the masses did wake up, there's no place to run for the elites. As it is easy to spot one when the veil has fallen, their obvious actions will reveal who they are. The elites will live the rest of their present and future lives stress-free. This reality will transcend for many generations and lifespans. These higher powers are to never be known of their existence. It's all a secret, and therefore anything goes. It must never be written or spoken of, or else the masses' consciousness will spawn the fury of the Almighty. We will all be suspended into the depths of our origins and remain there until the end of infinite time itself. The manual. This manual is to provide you the information to no longer fall into the elite's plan. Yes, this manual will combat all of what they're trying to do to you, what they have already done to you. As they said in their blueprints, they will distract you with everything external to prevent you from knowing what you are internally. The damages they've successfully instilled onto you with their many fronts can be reversed to a degree. You can only get a fraction of yourself back depending on how damaged you are. You will be able to depict what is real and what is fake, what is natural and man-made, and how that will affect your health, autonomy, and relationships. This manual can also get you into trouble if people knew you read it. The mainstream hive mind will not want you to read this. It can easily be labeled as racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, narcissistic, psychopathic, and all of the other shaming languages you can find. Meanwhile, all the manual claims is how to be natural. After all, delegitimizing the manual through character assassination is a power play from the media. What's really scary is the power within this manual that intimidates those who sit in their thrones. You might think it's the knowledge that's going to empower you. That is incorrect. It is your consciousness that threatens them. It just needs the knowledge for you to become truly conscious. They don't want you to be awake. These slaves can't do anything to those who pursue the truth because they are dead. There are many attempts from people who try to hurt us, threaten us, or steal from us at different angles. What a lot of people fail to understand is that they are dead. You can't be afraid of the dead slaves walking. Corpses cannot hurt somebody that is alive. Their ad hominem attacks, threats, and blackmailing are meaningless to you. When you become alive and enlightened, you too will not be concerned of the dead. People that are dead are empty vessels. They have nothing going for themselves outside of work or school. They refuse to let go of the hand of an authority to give themselves the free will to do whatever they want. When they do have free will, they will resort to distractions and mediocrity. Instead of being a slave to authority, they are now enslaved to debauchery. Some are slaves to both. That is the only way they can partially fill the empty void in their soul. This is not you. You're better than them. They are beneath you. We set our own paths, and we do not fear anyone holding us back from what we truly want. When you are alive, you realize you will have to deal with a lot of the grand illusions orchestrated by the slave masters and enforced by the brainwashed slaves. This is what's known as society. This manual is not made for the weak. This manual is not made for dead people. They want to put their head in the sand and think nothing of it when we are here to become conscious of it. It's to truly become alive amongst dead people. It's not made for you to feel suicidal. It's made for you to feel good naturally. It's made for you to evade through hidden obstacles that you never knew was there. It's there for you to feel relieved of all the man-made stress planted to accelerate your aging. This manual is not appealing to the masses. It's appealing to those who want to live. This manual will dismantle your entire belief system, question your biases, and remove any emotional turmoil clouding your judgment to the best of its abilities. It will promote maximum self-accountability, self-governance, and critical thinking. After following the protocol, you will know exactly what you need to do and what not to do. You won't have any more excuses to make. You will have an obligation to do better because you know better. It's a matter of execution after knowing what to do next. You'll be surprised just how many people will do nothing with the information they were given. They're simply not conscious enough despite the amount of experience they have over their lifetime. They still drink alcohol knowing their body rejects it. They keep eating despite the fact they're not satiated. They give their crush the attention even when none is reciprocated back to them. They scroll endlessly on social media knowing it makes them lonely and miserable. These actions are not in the mind of a conscious person. It's in the mind of a slave. Become open to knowing what you do not know yet, and become open to the fact that you are currently a slave. You've been playing the wrong game all this time. You were chasing these trinkets that never belonged to you at a biological level. Most of it will abuse your biology. The game was to find out what you already were. You have high expectations of the manual, as you should. This would not have existed in the length and quality that it's currently in if it did not have anything true to offer. While each chapter covers an in-depth look of each consciousness, there's repeating themes throughout the manual that brings it all together. Catch these patterns as to how they play a role in each consciousness protocol. The advantages of selfishness versus selflessness. You will understand exactly what's in your best interest. You will also understand what's in everyone else's best interest, and that within itself is in your best interest to know. You can compare your interest with others and understand there will be a conflict of interest. Focusing on your own interests makes you inherently selfish, but focusing on other people's interests makes you inherently selfless. There's no in between. It's more black and white than you think. You can choose to be selfish to gain more power at the cost of relationships, or you can choose to be selfless to gain more relationships at the cost of power. Too much of either side will lead to a detriment of one's life. Using either one in the wrong moments can also lead to a downfall. You have to time it perfectly for optimal results. The idea of selfishness has been frowned upon, often used as an insult. Very little are people aware of their own natural selfishness because of its negative connotation. This causes an off-centered balance when it comes to prioritizing others and oneself. The experience of enlightenment versus ignorance. Everything you once experienced came from ignorance. Then you have ascended to be enlightened of the subject matter, and that has changed you as a person. You can look back at your past and notice how ignorant you were compared to who you are now, but you are still just as ignorant compared to your future self. Remember that. There's more light needed to be poured inside of you, and you will see the difference in certain subjects from the perspective of an ignorant person to the perspective of an enlightened person. When you look at a particular subject, such as love for example, you can appreciate love with the lack of insight you once had. Then you can also appreciate love even after knowing every good and evil that comes with it. That is the experience of enlightenment versus ignorance. That will be applicable to every consciousness chapter you read. You will start each chapter knowing less than what you did after the chapter. The ranks of superiority versus inferiority. There are superiors and inferiors in every aspect of life. They interact with each other differently, and it takes certain skills and behaviors to be in either position, or it could be genetic. You will understand what superior positions are out there in this world, and how you can position yourself to be in that role. Keep in mind that this subject is also tricky, as most ranks with superiority and inferiority is actually imaginary. Only real natural roles have solidified ranks that cannot be changed or altered no matter how much you try, because nature always wins in the end. Overall, it is in your best interest to be aware of every rank and understand if it's natural or unnatural. The dichotomy of your internal self versus everything external of yourself. There are so many subjects that affect you internally, from within you, and externally, from outside of you, in completely different ways. You have to understand how to manage both aspects of it in order to be in full control of your internal self and what is around you. There is internal power and external power. There is internal mind control and external mind control. There is internal health and external health. There is internal loyalty and external loyalty. These are one of many examples covered throughout the protocol. Mindfully depict how a particular consciousness interacts between the external world and the internal world. Keep your eye on the words internal and external at all times. You will soon realize how much the internalities and the externalities intertwine with each other. It's quite beautiful. The anatomy of your physiology versus psychology. Your physiology, the body, and your psychology, the mind, has similar and contrasting comparisons between them. It's important to know that one can affect both body and mind simultaneously. Some effects are similar, some differ. The mind-to-body connection is so weak because we've been removed of our instincts. Brains have difficulties understanding their bodies, and their bodies cannot communicate telepathically to the brain whatsoever. However, the body can communicate in different ways, and you need to be educated to know what it's trying to tell you. Understand that you can't neglect either of the anatomies. The mind anatomy and the body anatomy operate completely differently in their own complex ways, but they both can be affected by the same cause, whatever the source could be. The conflict of the school of thought versus your natural instincts. This world you were brought up in programmed you away from your natural self. You have been instilled with man-made beliefs, eating man-made foods, pursuing man-made materialism, and chasing man-made power. All of your wants and aspirations were planted by man-made ideas, not of your own thinking. You are the least natural specimen in the food chain. This is what's known as being denatured. The mind control is extremely potent, and you need to analyze every single detail of what made you a brainwashed slave. You have natural instincts that you neglect every single day, and that is what's killing you slowly. The illuminism of the masses versus the elites. There will be multiple cross-references of how the elites hide in plain sight, how they interact with the masses through fronts, deception, and mind control, how they will live the life of luxury that you will never get to experience, and how they are deeply intertwined with your everyday life. These elites will be referred to as slave masters, marketers, advertisers, companies, the powers that be, those that sit on their thrones, and a few other powerful titles. They all play a role in manipulating your beliefs in ways that favor them, not you. The distinctions between truth and lies. You will understand just how scarce the truth is and how knee-deep in lies you are drowning in. It is true that you are living in a lie. You will be able to pinpoint what the truth is when you are understanding the characteristics of it, and most importantly, what characteristics that the truth doesn't have. There are so many lies that even when you believe you have found the truth, it is still lies in disguise of the truth. Believe it or not, you no longer have to seek the truth when you have already found it. If you are somebody who is still learning, who is still looking to improve, means that you do not have the answers. Your destination ends at the truth, and many have never met their destination. The lies are so prevalent that you even lie to yourself. Coping is a form of a lie, because people do not want to face the truth. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of avoiding reality. Many people lie to others because they lie to themselves. They truly believe in the lies they tell themselves. The belief is so powerful that you believe the lies are true. The lies you uncover is a process to get to the truth, or even worse, keep you away from the truth. When you finally understand the truth, you can actually die happy knowing what you know. You can finally stop pursuing everything. You can finally stop competing, not because of what you have, but because of what you know. The control of your mind versus other minds. Mind control is very real. It plagues all of the masses. Mind control in an artistic way has its different art forms. You won't understand that you are under the impression of mind control until you understand how it works on you and the masses. When you can finally deconstruct how people are controlled through different art forms of mind control, only then will you actually snap out of it. The best thing of all is that you will finally be able to control your own mind now that nothing else is controlling it. If warranted, you can control the minds of others using this information. You will soon realize a lot of what you believe was not out of your own control, not out of your own instincts, and not out of your own independence. Once you master mind control, it becomes harmonic, where every note you play intentionally casts a musical spell on the user. The importance of health, autonomy, and relationships. At a natural level, you only need 3 key aspects to living a fulfilling life. That is to be at your utmost healthiest, to be as free as you could ever be, and to have good people who love you for you. This all stems from genuine nature and nothing to do with the man-made manipulation that many slaves are accustomed to getting. This concept will be repeated all throughout the manual, told in many perspectives that all conclude that it is those 3 that you need the most. It is health, autonomy, and relationships. Remember that. You can get it however you can, but you need these 3 entirely to win life. Unfortunately, these natural needs have been stripped away from you since birth. Children commonly enter the world through C-sections, having their foreskin removed, being injected with drugs and vaccines, then being fed formula from their slave parents who don't know any better. Children are then brought up and raised in indoctrinating school grounds for more than a decade for the most optimal slave conditioning to prepare them for their slave job. Children will then have shallow relationships based on man-made hobbies and fleeting trends, only causing them to stick together based on superficial reasonings. The point is, society has robbed you of your happiness and fulfillment. This manual will do everything that it can to get it all back in the most holistic, natural ways possible, to get your health, autonomy, and relationships back. The purpose here is to give you a godlike blueprint, to become a strategist and executor. Every page in this manual has value of gold. Every word you digest will fatten your belly like a king. Life will improve tenfold, and limited beliefs will not hinder that progress. This protocol does not care to change minds, as it is not the goal. The choice is yours to make. Absorb what you must through critical analysis, not emotional turmoil. This approach is highly encouraged. If the treasure of this manual offered to you is refused, all it would do is continue those unresolved internal issues to persist. Ignoring this wisdom comes at your own peril. That is how one builds their own cage. The discovery of self is one of, if not, the most astute advantage one can possess. The process to understand oneself is a cutthroat experience because you didn't realize how capable you really are. You truly don't know who you are yet. In fact, majority of us don't. It's not in the sense of what you enjoy in life, what are your preferences, and what you like to become as an occupation. It's about who you are down to your most primal instinct, who you are naturally. Your consciousness is not special. The way you operate in this world is synonymous to every other human. While our preferences are different, our operating system is not. That is the consciousness we're talking about here. To discover what you are is knowing what you are genuinely capable of, and you haven't figured it out yet. These capabilities are nothing profound. They are already deeply within you and are waiting to come out. You've been enriched in man-made deception and distractions for so long. You have to try to get out of your way to understand what it really means to be natural. All of the good and evil that has happened in this world were made by humans. You are the same human as them. If they are capable, then you are too. They figured out how to be capable and effectively executed it. Meanwhile, you still have yet to discover what that thing is. Nobody truly knows about themselves despite how many years they live because they are focused on externalities of life rather than the internalities of yourself. You're too busy learning how to be a doctor, a voter, a plumber, a lover, a boxer, a patriot, and so on. Those occupations are not you. They're just more distractions from understanding yourself. Even psychologists don't even know who they truly are despite knowing how the mind works out of everyone else. A psychologist might know the mind out of most occupations, but their disconnection of self-discovery prevents them from understanding their own flaws and capabilities. A psychologist will understand that the mind is capable of mind control through manipulation, but they genuinely don't know what type of mind controls are manipulating them in real time. This is what it means to have a hold of such rare information. This entire manual will teach you about who you truly are, what you are truly capable of, and what you are truly susceptible of. Your new profound actions will affect the people around you without them even realizing it. It's paranormal. When a fully conscious being interacts with a subconscious being, only one will be in full control of the situation. Even if the conscious being appears to be losing from the outside, deep inside the conscious mind has a strategy to win in the long term. If you cannot see the dead, then you are part of the dead. If you can only see 50% of the dead, then you have 49% more of the dead to discover. You're still dead, but you're getting there. It's difficult to recognize someone who is alive when you are surrounded by dead people. After this protocol, the goal for you is to see that 99% of them are dead. You probably believe that everyone is unique and different without realizing they can be superior or inferior to you. Fantasy such as that pollutes the mind with deception, never being able to see the mirage for what it truly is. Luckily, resurrections exist if you allow yourself to be elevated. You don't have to stay dead. You can become alive. This protocol is devastatingly effective to the user. It's unequivocal to other sources of material and information that's absolutely scarce. It's nearly fiction. You are here to grasp all of it. Your thoughts will mold synchronously as you progress through the manual. You will shed each layer of preconceived deception that you once used to believe. You will finally solidify your stance in this world by sharpening your critical thinking and strategizing. By the time people finish this manual, the weak will want to kill themselves, and the strong will devour it tenfold. This manual has been blessed with occult information that will raise your consciousness. It is an obligation to pour that blessing onto you, so you too can truly grasp what's already been inherited by natural law. It would be a disgrace to gatekeep it all. It came to a point that higher entities won't allow this information to be hoarded, and therefore the protocol will be unleashed. The fog in your brain will disperse, and you will see the clarity that you should have seen from birth. What was beyond comprehension will become comprehensible. What was never perceived can now be perceivable. What was out of reach is now reachable. Not aware enough protocol summary. Most people die never knowing what they were truly capable of from within. There's defective people out there who are stuck living in dysfunction with you, known as slaves. Many people are blinded by feelings, biases, and distractions, making them unaware of certain realities. Society is a mixed cocktail of slave masters that manipulate you to be a slave, and slaves repeating what they were told that kept them as slaves. It's difficult to identify a free thinker when everyone else around you is a slave. These slaves are dead. Every street you walk on is a graveyard. You can no longer afford to be blissfully ignorant. Everybody around you has access to information that could be used against you. This manual has nothing to do with conspiracy theories, the universe, or spirituality. It's all based in the real world. The elites will cast an illusion so large and vast it will escape your perception. The elites will keep your lifespan short, merely a fraction of their lifespan. The elites turned everyday foods hyperpalatable through drugs and chemicals. The elites will distract the masses with money and material goods so the masses never understand their internal self. The elites will enact laws to stop you from living, and the masses will warp their morality around these laws to justify their slavery. The masses will look straight at the truth, hidden in plain sight, so close they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. The elites will live the rest of their present and future lives stress-free. This manual is to provide you the information to no longer fall into the elite's plan. Corpses cannot hurt somebody that's alive. This manual is not appealing to the masses, it's appealing to those who want to live. You've been playing the wrong game all this time. The game was to find out who you already were. This entire manual will teach you about who you truly are, what you're truly capable of, and what you're truly susceptible of. If you cannot see the dead, then you are a part of the dead. By the time people finish this manual, those that are weak will want to kill themselves. Those that are strong will devour this manual tenfold. That wraps up the free sample of True Consciousness Unleashed. If that has caught your interest, purchase the manual from the website followtheprotocol.com and get yourself the author's copy, including both the physical copy and the audiobook in one package. Thank you.